In this video, I want to look on the AI generated art. Can it be used by concept artists or compositing in our artwork? And I want to show you my perspective, how I'm using what I find the best way to use AI in my work and how it will helpful. So let's look at this way. As example, we'll look on a Midjourney, and it is you can join the trial kind of for free, but after this you have a pay plan to actually work with them. You also have it different ones like DALI E2 from open source or Google OpenAI. And you have many other ones opening. So the reason is why they pop up about in 2019, the paper of Art AI was published. And after this, different programmers was coming over and created all these different type of the AI. And let's have different, so the blending, let's have all these different algorithms. We won't go technical in them because they're actually progressing, they're doing better, worse, whatever. We'll focus on one that I think more commercially can be used or art in your work. And currently this will be Midjourney as example. Overall, let's stay straightforward from beginning. Two things covered. One, even recently they tried to say the AI generated art is copyrighted and it's failed by the court. So AI generated artwork is not copyrighted. So it's meaning you can use it in your work, you can resell and so on. Some other legal things maybe come up, so better check in on this. But general, keep in mind, if you put it names like right here, you're generating AI, it's not copyrighted. Okay. Next, depend because of this copyrighted things, it is meaning other people can take your work, you can take your work. However, if you're using some pieces and create your own work with compositing and everything, then you can copyright it. So it's kind of very tricky about this, but it's open source, keep in mind. And we'll actually show some other things how you can leave it hide, but general think about this, it's open to the public, work is created. And second biggest things that you need to understand, whatever art is created, AI does not draw by itself. It's using different blending composition, different distortion, different effect applied. It's all generated, but it is take art that created by other people, take pieces from those arts and combine them together through different blending effect or algorithms and so ever. It is could be look total different, but keep it in mind all of this. And if you actually look in some going in a fact and from Midjourney, it actually says if you find a piece of the art and it is yours, you can tell them and they will remove it, because Midjourney works this way. It's got access to millions of the artwork from public domain and take all of those pieces and combine them together. Of course, it's not just a blending, yet understand it's way more behind this, because it applies stylizations, apply coloring, so on. It's a huge things happening. But general, keep in mind that it is possibility that you can see in your work or whatever AI render similarity to from piece of artwork of another artist. So it is possibilities there. But can we use it? And one thing, when I start work with Midjourney, I was invited and I look on this, and it was interesting some, but if we look, and on first look, if we look very fast, and this is, by the way, it's community feed. If you look, it's look okay, it's look very interesting, some of this. However, if we get closer to any image, and I'll look a little bit closer after, you find some problems right there. Sometimes blending wrong, human figurines is very badly. Even they look like first humans, but you look after and it is just mess up, just kind of blob together. So it is look interesting at first, but does not look very clean and afterwards. Of course, it will work. DALI E2 work better with these human figurines, but what we can use it. And I found out that for me personally, they work excellent as a backdrop in my compositing work. So if I need to create it some specific, I can use it. However, keep in mind that because of that resolution, some of the techniques how we can put it in, because you don't really have it angle of your camera or how you can work with a Midjourney. You don't have this total control, so it is some randomizing. Let's look a little bit more in details right now, and you kind of understand what I was speaking. So right here, Midjourney, it's based on actually Discord. So you're working inside the Discord, and this is an example what I can put it lines and it's render for me, and of course when it's render I can preview, I can see how segments coming. If I like it, I can make variation, upscale, so on. It's a straightforward. What does meaning? You just go ahead, you type imagine, this is the prompt, and you can type anything like imagine even a ball or some other ones. There's have words that you can use it, they're helpful. However, not that people use some words. I found out they're not necessarily work as people think they work, and it's true experiment. So for example, let's go say here's ball, and this is the render ball. I just put the word ball, and by the way, you can see on the top right here, and this is render one. I says, okay, how about I render ball with high details, which a lot of people put it, and it's actually compared to other ones, it's not high details, low details if you put it, or ball have it same amount of details, so it sometimes can be ignored. It does have a keyword and so on, but this is the video not about keywords use or other things. However, I will mention a few of them, but general, that is how we can utilize this. So general idea of this, you can go ahead, type the words and describing, and it's work. And sometimes maybe you get kind of confused what should words I describe, what put it. For me at the beginning was very big help, go by example. So of course you can go inside the documentation if you go to Midjourney. By the way, it's asking you to register. It's by invitation only right now access, and then you'll have a free trial, as I said before, but after this you can go and purchase plan to use. Then it's allowed you to use it fast or relax or whatever. I'm currently on the $30 plan that is unlimited render on a relaxed mode. It means slow, it's taken, and if you want upscale to higher resolution, you actually need to switch to the fast mode, what they call, and then they account against your hours. It's a GPU hour, 15 hours give it to you. Generally you can render quite a bit images, but again we'll look in, and I did not find it does upscale, but as a background you almost never need it. Use it max res, you can use it just to relax, render for free, and use it this in your work. Okay, anyway, if you have more questions, they have very nice FAQ where I highly recommend go to manual or going to parameters of the illustration. It's a straightforward explain you what it can do, what resolution can set, and everything if you need it specifically. You also can base it some of your images included in, like image parameter from that is based on your work, which is actually very nice, and it somewhat can look to the style you want to use it or specific image. Back to billing, and let's look right here. So you start free 25, it's a lifetime period, you use 25 minutes, it's done deal, you have it, nothing else, it's free trial. After this you need pay $10 a month or $30 a month with the relaxed GPU unlimited. If you think you will going to create art as a professional, I recommend the $30 because they're work. And if you work with corporate, go they're probably working. Keep in mind it says private visibility. So what is happening anytime when you're going in the Midjourney and you type it, even it's showing right here like my personal, and I'll show you in a second what to do. So right here you're going to Discord example, and you can see they have a lot of channels. You can imagine and go inside type, and there you go. This is like whatever people typing, but notice right here your string, what is going on, it's publicly visible. So whatever you're doing, even with you can go to private chatbot. It's have things. Reason why I'm doing, I'll explain in a second. But overall, right here, people typing, and you can see all render. So it's kind of nice. You can look on what string they use it, how popular, but it's render thousands and thousands, 100,000 images. And if you work and you do with your work, you can get lost with this one. So what I'd recommend is going to the private bot, right there, Midjourney bot, and just text directly there, and then nobody intercepts, so you can see your work come back anytime. And first time when with Discord, I kind of was not sure if I like it, but afterwards I do, because I can use it, my account on multiple devices when I log in, and I can go on a row, just be sure it's render, keep it on in a queue or whatever, fill up. So right here, when you log in, first you can preview images, and if you are, of course, subscriber of the free version, you can access to a Midjourney app. Okay, and when you're going to Midjourney application, you'll notice you have your feed on the side, and this is I highly recommend for you to utilize, because first, if you're going home, this is all your image, and let's see what I was rendering. So this is my feed. I can go directly download it from here, preview from here, so it's kind of helpful. You can also search and everything. If you need inspiration on look what other people do, you can go in a community feed, and right here you can see this is have it images what kind of people render. I don't know if the moderator select them or AI or somehow how they pop up. It doesn't. If you get confused, remember right here you have it search, so you can always go in a landscape, or you can search for this, and it will look on a keyword that people type in, so it's kind of pop up. Big plus about this, you'll notice you have an option. When you click on the option, you can copy prompt. Prompt, it's what line people put it in. Keep it in mind, that's line if you copy does not guarantee you will have it exactly the same image. You will have it an image that similar. As example, right here I type red cube located middle of the city, and there's a different variations you can see going between those ones. So right here too, you can see the different ones, and in something it's a permutation. If you think you're creating same word, so it can be randomly created and all that stuff. So it does not, keep in mind, it does not guarantee that you will have it exactly the same result. However, it does help with the words. Some words we can preview. Okay, let me look right here. Actually, if we go over, and you can see that people put a description wherever. A lot of time people will put it Octane render or some other render. I did not personally find a big difference on this. However, some keywords like trending, ArtStation, or other things help to reference where the majority sampling will happening. Other things I will recommend if you do this, it's using bookmark. For example, if you go over and you don't have time right now, but some style or some interested capture you, you can go ahead and click on bookmark. After this, you can go inside your bookmarks, and right here, for example, I have some inspirations, ideas. It's not necessary I will going to copy precisely, but I maybe check on the keywording, so I can have it similar style or other things. However, as I said before, AI render artwork, it's not copyrighted by US law, so it is copyright not applied to that. And this is bring us to another point that I don't personally use it, the DALL-E E2. I don't have an invitation, but I have the other artists who are using, and they said the problem is DALL-E E own all rights to the images. Probably the Midjourney try to do similar. Legally, I don't think they can, but Midjourney allowed you to actually use it, the images, it's render however you want it. Okay, you can use it sell, you can do in your work, commercial work, you can do NFTs, whatever you want. Of course, some small restrictions, and if you have a question about this, I will recommend billing and licensing, going right here about licensing and see how it is used in commercial terms. Example right here, you can see You can use it wherever you want it, but if you more making more money or you're doing this, so you kind of ask to pay you a little bit more on that. And again, this is their own service terms that is they ask to follow, but big plus you can use it however you want your art. So you can resell, you can create bug, you include in your commercial work and everything. And this is, I found that this is huge plus, huge for me attraction to the Midjourney because of the usage of the artwork that AI generated based on the word text string that I put it in. Okay, so you can look right here. We have it images and you can see what I was rendering. If you are interested to render now, sorry, let's go ahead a little bit more technical right now. Okay, from my point, what I do for myself. When I render images, I render them in usually portrait or landscape. So you have options to specify inside the string. It's a dash dash AR and after space like 16 column 9. So it's a 16 by 9. You can specify the ratio that you want to render. And I found out portrait or landscape work very well in this case. However, you can render by default as a square. And I think, let me find like this one, you can see this by default render square. And it is rendered in about 1024 by the kind of standard HD resolution. If you're going to max rend, they can render about 2000 pixels, a little bit bigger. Honestly, I did not find too big different. Some maybe details added, but as a backdrop, mostly you don't need it. Honestly, I render some difference. Like right here, you can see this is specifically I was created in render as a backdrop for some themes, and some of them, if you click over, it will tell you what is the resolution, and you can see it's 2000, so its maximum resolution was rendered. And I did not find too much of the different for the backdrops because most of my work I'm working with about 8,000 5,000 pixels, and this is max renders 2,000, so I will need upscale. So it doesn't matter what I do, I will still have a little bit of the blurring, so I need to reapply sharpening and other stuff in this case. In general, it's what I render. Square, sometimes I render if I don't know I want to use it landscape or portrait, but I found out pre-render both ways help me all the time. Have this nice collection. So what do we render? I render backdrops. I render texturing kind of, so I can apply to this. And by the way, next video I will record how we can take one of these and what kind of blending, overlay, compositing we can create with this. Okay. And there you go, you can see there all the different styles. Some of them a little bit experimental, so nanobots experimental. Characters look very silly, and I don't know if I'm going to use them, but it is fun experimental tool that you can use it. By the way, as a characters, you can see it can come up with quite a bit creepy, and probably I will go take face of the model overlay and work together with this kind of embeddedness. So it will be inspirational in some cases. But usually that as a backdrops, you can see they work beautifully. Keep it in mind, as I said before, if we preview right here, you can see there are kind of like this, but it's not high detail. So you can recognize something from far away, but if you look closer, it is very messy. And it's what I found. It's not distinguished like a books, teeny tiny books right there. It's a more abstract type of the render. You can specify photorealistic, but photorealistic sometimes work kind of weird because what it does is apply more blurring. So what I was meaning by this, let's go back to like this one example, nanobots. You can see how blur apply, and it will do a lot of this DOF blurring. Even you specify, for example, do not use a DOF or other things, and it is part how it's tried to blend, part of the algorithm how the AI tried to work with this. So applying some of those blurring. But general, it's excellent tool to create it backdrops. And I did create several packs of the backdrops that I give it for free to my Patreon supporters, so you can use it there. And those backdrops, when I created, they're based on the colors. I pre-selected specifically one that will work very well with compositing based on experience and all this stuff. And it took me several days, multiple days, just going all permutation to find properly the one that I think they will fit. So it is not just give you some perception. You can just type in, click, and it's ready. No, sometimes take time to tweak with words to figure out how AI work, find the right rule of dice, because what happening, you just roll your dice and see what's happening and find, and from that permutation keep on more exploring and keep on going forward towards this. So it is kind of an interesting tool. How said, you can join right now by invitation. However, if you're going on a Facebook Midjourney and post it there that you want to join, I found that creators and moderators, they actually send you invitation after certain days or whatever. I don't know when it's coming, so you can join it. Nice things about this, that is application that take in consideration hundreds, thousands of the different images, what's compositing from, going rework on its image, so it's almost like an art magic. I don't know what it says. Overall, I do recommend, and I will use it in my next videos. Some of these backgrounds, we'll see how we can utilize these backgrounds in creating our artwork and compositing, and what is the best way to do this compositing with.